When you think about it, flags are kind of strange, right? They're just pieces of cloth with colors and shapes on them, but they hold so much power. They stand for identity, for authority, for the very idea of a country. So let's get into it. I mean, they're literally everywhere you look. The Olympics, outside government buildings, on military uniforms. It's easy to take them for granted. But it makes you wonder, when a country decides, hey, this is our flag, or even let's change our flag, who actually gets to make that call? Who has the final say? Okay, so who approves a national flag? Your first thought might be, I don't know, some committee at the United Nations, right? Some official global flag department that gives the thumbs up. But the real answer, well, it's a lot more interesting than that.
The answer, believe it or not, is no one. At least, no one on the outside looking in.
And just to be super clear about this, there is absolutely no international body that approves, rejects, or rubber stamps a country's flag. The UN doesn't do it. There's no international flag police. Nobody. So where does a flag's authority actually come from? It comes from within. A flag becomes official through a country's own laws. Think about it. Deciding on your own symbol is a core part of being a sovereign nation. It's a fundamental expression of independence. The state decides for itself, period. Okay, so if the decision is all internal, how does that actually happen? What's the process? Well, it turns out countries usually take one of four main routes to make their flag the real deal. And what's super fascinating here is that the way a country makes its flag law tells you a lot about its politics. If you bake it right into the Constitution, like Brazil did, that flag is not going anywhere easily. Changing it means changing the Constitution itself. The most common way, though, is just passing a law, like a flag act. That's how Canada got its iconic maple leaf. Then you have an executive decree. This is the fast track, something a president or a new ruling body might do during a big political shift. And finally, you can put it to a vote with a referendum. You see this when a flag is a really hot-button issue, like those debates they had in New Zealand a while back. All right, so that's the legal stuff, the how it becomes official part. But what about the actual design? The colors, the stars, the stripes. What goes into creating the look of a flag and the story it tells? It really boils down to two big buckets of influence. In one bucket, you've got the heart and soul of the flag. This is all the history, the culture, the national stories. Maybe the colors represent a fight for independence, or a symbol comes from an ancient myth. But then in the other bucket, you've got pure, simple practicality. A flag has a job to do, right? It's got to be easy to see from far away, simple enough for a kid to draw from memory, and, hopefully it doesn't look exactly like your neighbor's flag. Now, changing a flag, that is a massive deal. We're not just talking about a simple rebrand or some redecorating. It's a huge political statement that tells the world, hey, we're turning a page, we're starting a new chapter here. And you can pretty much predict when a country might change its flag. The biggest trigger for sure is independence. You throw out the old colonial symbols and create something new that's all your own. Another one is a regime change. A revolution happens, a new government comes in, and they want a new identity. Of course, if countries merge or split up, they're going to need new flags. And sometimes it's about healing. Think about South Africa after apartheid. They created a new flag to get rid of the old divisive symbols and signal a new unified identity for everyone. So how does it actually go down? Well, the process itself is usually pretty straightforward. Step 1, a political decision gets made. We need a new flag. Step 2, the design process kicks off. This could be a special committee or even a contest where the public submits ideas. Step 3, the new design gets legally approved. Step 4, they announce an official start date. And finally, Step 5, the rollout. And that's a huge job, getting the new symbol on every government building, military uniform, and flagpole in the country. And we should probably be clear here about what we mean by a national flag. We're talking specifically about the symbol of a sovereign state, one that's been adopted into its own law. Sure, regions have flags, companies have flags, organizations like the Red Cross have flags, but they don't carry that same legal punch. They don't represent national sovereignty. Okay, so let's tie this all together. The big takeaway here is that a national flag is where two powerful things meet, law and identity. And while we're at it, let's bust some common myths. Myth number 1, the big one. The UN approves national flags. Nope, absolutely not. As we've seen, it is 100% a domestic legal decision. Full stop. And here's another myth, that just creating a new flag somehow gets you recognized by other countries. That's not how it works. International recognition is a totally separate political game played between nations. A flag is a country's claim to being a state. It's not the magic key that makes it one.
And really, this is why this is so cool to understand. The next time you see in the news that some country is debating a new flag, you'll know what's really going on. It's not just an argument about colors and shapes. It's about a nation trying to redefine who they are, right before our very eyes.
Because in the end, that's what a flag is. It's so much more than fabric and ink. It's a nation's entire story, boiled down into one powerful symbol and made real by the force of its own law.